We turn in the Gospel of Matthew to chapter 15, verses 10 through 20. And he called the people to him and said to them, "Hear and understand. Not what goes into the mouth defiles a man, but what comes out of the mouth. This defiles a man." Then the disciples came and said to him, "Do you know that the Pharisees were offended when they heard this saying?" He answered, "Whatever every heavenly plant which my heavenly Father has not planted will be rooted up. Let them alone. They are blind guides, and if a blind man leads a blind man, both will fall into a pit." But Peter said to him, "Explain the parable to us." And he said, "Are you also still not without understanding? Do you not see that whatever goes into the mouth passes into the stomach and so passes on? But what comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart, and this defiles a man. For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murder, adultery, fornication, theft, false witness, slander. These are what defile a man. But to eat with unwashed hands does not defile a man." This is the reading of the word.
Thanks be to God.
So there are a lot of diets out there. My personal favorite is the seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. Right? Who's with me on that one? I'm done, right? Sermon done. No. But there are a lot of them out there. And if you've ever explored or had to explore what goes in your body food-wise, you might as well start banging your head against a wall. Because you can do the Atkins diet, which is like the no-carb whatchamanis. You can do the keto diet, which is like Atkins on steroids. You can do the Mediterranean diet, which is apparently only eating foods from the Mediterranean, but that's only if you can eat some of the foods from the Mediterranean, because if you are diabetic, nix some of that. If you have an autoimmune and you have to not eat any of the nightshade vegetables, like tomatoes and potatoes and eggplant and all that, cut all those things out. I mean, it can go on and on and on, which is why, like I said, the seafood diet's my favorite. But Jesus tells us that what goes in the mouth eventually comes out. If any of you have ever had children, you know. And sometimes how it comes out is not how it went in. But what comes out of the mouth? That's what Jesus is focused on. What comes out of the mouth proceeds from the heart. That's verse 18 if you're keeping track. I don't know about you all, but when I was little, or not so little, I would be constantly admonished to think before I speak, right? It doesn't work very well for someone who's a verbal processor. Because as I process things, I generally word vomit. Like, it just comes out, this is how it goes, let me talk it through, and then all of a sudden I'll say something that makes perfect sense, and I'm like, I'm done. You had to write it down. That's kind of the way my sermons are, right? I'll say things, and then all of a sudden some little gem will come out, and you'll be like, oh. Or at least I hope so, right? I picked this image here. I actually spent a lot of time Googling cool images of looking at the heart. I don't recommend it. But I mean, how often Do we sometimes say something and then go, ugh? I shouldn't have said that. Or, ooh, I could have said that better. Or, oh, that wasn't a very Christ-like thing to say. See, what defiles us is not necessarily what we do to ourselves, but rather what we do to others. So often, and this is what Jesus is talking about here, he says it's not the Pharisees who are concerned, because what he's answering to is, the traditions of the elders. Washing hands before you eat. And okay, I'm going to say this might be one of the traditions of the elders that I am totally about. Washing your hands before you eat. Please. Please do. But Christ is saying, why are you so focused on that? Why are you so focused on the little things? You're not focused on what's actually coming out of your mouth. You see, so often we assume that what is in our hearts, our understanding of who God is and what God is right. And sometimes we say it unknowingly or unwittingly without realizing the consequences of the words that we have said. And that's the heart. Because if we don't view others with the heart of God and speak to them as if God is speaking to them without condemnation or judgment, then what's coming out of our mouths is not from our hearts. And it's deeply saddening. It's deeply distressing. Because I've had conversations in this past week discussing the church at large. And why people either go or don't go. And so often it is because of the words that someone said. Which is the reason someone does not come in the doors. Because the words that someone said were said like the Pharisees, talking out of the laws of the land and not out of the laws of God. Because that's what Christ is calling us to focus on. He's saying, focus on what the heart of the matter is, the heart of it. Because what does Christ command us to do? You see, we can read throughout Scripture of all the laws in Leviticus and Deuteronomy and all the Proverbs and the things. Let me tell you, Leviticus is not an easy read. And yet we come to the Gospels, and we as Christians should focus on the Gospels. I'm not saying to not understand and read the Old Testament, because we have to understand the Gospels, because Christ quotes it left, right, front, and center. But he quotes it so that we might understand it better, so that we might understand the intent of it better. And sometimes intent is all that it's about. You see, I can take words that someone says to me that might be a little, thank you, a little bit better if I know that the intent of the person is kind. We know those words, right? Oh, you look so good since you've had the baby. How's that weight loss coming? Right? babies in 6 years. Weight loss is not happening anytime soon. And yet the intent of some of the people that come at you with those comments, and you know what those are. Each of us have those ones that just kind of make us go, thank you. Right? Oh, your hair looks so nice since you dyed it. Why, thank you. Right? I didn't know that you noticed. Or you look really good in that outfit. You should wear it more often. I mean, we say those things, sometimes unwittingly, and I know it's funny, I'm not intentionally trying to hurt anyone's feelings. But sometimes those words get to us a little bit, right? Because it depends on who says them and how they are said. I can take it with love a whole lot better than I can take it with malicious intent. Or I can take it from a friend who I know truly cares about me than I can from some stranger on the street who I only see every once in a while, or who I'm going, oh wait, hold on. What did I do? And I believe truly that that is where Christ is coming from. As we read this, he is saying, what comes from our mouths matters. We talk about filters, right? We all know those lovely friends that don't have one. And sometimes I know arbitrarily we wish that we don't or would stop ourselves from using our filters, right? We all have those lovely people that you just want to say what you want to say to them and how you need to say it to them. But then we have to stop. And I'm hopeful that we stop ourselves because we look at them with love instead of, oh, they just won't get it. There's no point. But when we speak to others out of love, we generally will find that what we say is better received. How we say it is better received. Christ is talking about what defiles us. He's responding to the parable about every plant which the Father has not planted will be rooted up. They're blind guides. If a blind man leaves a blind man, both will fall into the pit. And Peter's like, wait, hold on, Lord, I don't get it. The disciples don't get a lot. And then Christ finally cuts to the chase. And he says that what goes in is not as important as what comes out. We learn that, right? I don't know how many of you are around young kids, but they don't have a filter. Much to our lovely parents' consternation, we worry about what they say, don't we? We worry about what comes out of their mouths sometimes, particularly if it's language that we're like, where did you learn that? Or if they say something completely out of context in the most inappropriate and inopportune time. And yet we find it funny and joyful and lovely because we know that it's not meant out of anything but love. We're not kids, in case you didn't know. The older we get, the more important it is that we watch what we say, that we consider what is coming out. We consider how it might be interpreted. It's not just how it is said, but how another might receive it. There's that lovely movie. It came out in the 90s of Mel Gibson. When he heard all of the voices of womanhood in his head, he could understand women. Do you all remember that movie? I used to think that'd be an awesome superpower, right? To hear and understand. To see someone, what they're thinking and how they're saying it right from the get-go? No! There's a reason the mind is inside, right? We as people of God are called to do as Christ says and speak. We are called to speak from our hearts first. Because what comes from the mouth proceeds from the heart. And so if your heart is not pure, if it is not filled with godly intent, if it is not filled with love for the others in this world, then what comes from your heart will be evil. It might not be as dramatic as murder or adultery, fornication, but false witness is not so dramatic. Because how many of us have ever said, well, I heard. And then slander is also not quite so dramatic. Because how many of us have said, well, you could have done it better. Or maybe you should reconsider. We need to be conscientious of what and how and who. That's the heart of this. Because we can take it in all day long, but unless we filter what we say through the heart of God that should be inside us, if we ripped ourselves open, and the thing is that's what Christ makes of it. It is not us. You see, the coolest part of our belief in God is that the heart of us is made new and clean and fresh by God. You see, I debated between this awesome image of the heart or the beautiful image of the heart, of the white heart coming out of the different colors of paint or whatsoever. Have you ever done that awesomeness? Where you take a sticker, either a cross or a heart, and you put it on a canvas and you just throw paint at it. If you did not do that as a VBS project at some point, you need to. We might offer it this upcoming year. It's at Retta. We can mess up their sanctuary, right? Maybe? You see, the profoundness of that image is that it is made new in Christ. So if our hearts are made new in Christ and we're not utilizing our hearts as we speak, and as we act, and as we do, then we're not question of Peter, are you also still without understanding? How do you not at this point get it? Those are my own words. I mean, I'm sure Jesus might have been thinking it, but he said it much nicer, right? I mean, several of my theological friends like to call the disciples the disciples, like D-U-H. Because they constantly do not get it. They constantly do not get it, and yet